Hang it tight, we'll get started in just a jiffy, everyone. Again, this is a low time frame intraday trading type of day, so if you're not used to it, we're going to cover low time frame trading, trades and setups, usually incorporating everything underneath the 5 hour, so hourly, etc. Welcome everybody to your boy Satoshi motherfucking Heavy signing in here with a dose of stalking day trades. I need to find a better intro to that one. The Sunday was easy. Hold on. Let me pause this music. Forgot what tab it's in. I got a million tabs open, unfortunately. Apologize. Cool. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have the chat box open. Let me double check. Okay, I do have a chat box open. Whether or not the chat box I need. Sorry. No, there might be some more people watching, but give me a second. How to post this? Okay. All right. So Ethereum, it kind of makes me a little scared here. First of all, so my idea today was that this was actually going to be move like this up, and then we're going to come down like this, right? That's my idea. Or that this is going to be an actual impulse. But we broke below this level, which is not something I wanted to do. This 13-minute and 15-minute freaking divergence played out so well. Topped out, got the divergence out there. That's a really good play right there. Once you get this topped out or bottomed out tandem with SRSI and SSRSI, which is free, everyone. It's free. I keep getting members asking, how do I get access to SSRSI? Well, it's free. Just go to my account and it's... Sorry if the audio is kind of fucking up there. Give me a second. I'm gonna exit out of this as well. And that... Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. That needs to stay, that needs to stay, that needs to stay, that needs to stay, and that needs to stay. I'm going to do this though. I'm going to bring this over here. Minimize you, maximize you. Sorry, okay. So we broke below this level, which is not something I wanted to do. This is a triangle that actually played out, which is kind of crazy. And triangles only happen in very specific... In my opinion, this is a triangle. They happen in very specific areas. B waves or wave 4s, X waves, and stuff like that. So my initial idea was that after this, played out and we got this hard rebound, that this was going to be like I said, a new not motive, but trendy piece to the upside to at least break this high, or at least chase it, right? But then we retrace pretty aggressively here. So let's start some levels and things here. One thing I want to note though is that this bottom out aspect on our this. We have a tandem again. So whenever we're in a tandem, we want to look for a buy or sell scenario. So in this scenario, it's a buy, right? Up here we have a sell scenario. Why is it this? My vertical line's like gray or something. I was like, why the hell? Okay, I was like, Jesus Christ. So I topped out, right? That doesn't mean you short there. You wait. You have to wait for some confirmation. You either use a lower time frame, like a 1 minute, 2 minute, or through 1 to 5 minute, or you wait for a divergence to form after this is formed, like while hitting an order block. That will give you more confirmation. And then, if you know anything about divergences, you know how the rules work. If this is truly a divergence, right here, like 0, 1, 2, this low would have been broken within these 3 candles, and it didn't happen. And so that's why it broke and made a new high. Then that will actually, this move was actually true divergence so far. So now we're in a buying opportunity scenario, but again, we have to be very cautious because one thing that I made note of, and reason why I threw it away was because Bitcoin invalidated this running expanding flat here. This move here, it can be a possible expanding flat, especially since how we were retraced so aggressively so far. Bitcoin made me not want to think that, which was the reason why I threw it out in the morning, is because this retrace on Bitcoin was way too far. It hit the 618, which is too far for a flat or anything of the same degree. So this meaning that this move here, this move from this high to this low, or from this high to this low, had to be of something else. You can maybe do this, but it still hits the 6. It still don't work. So that's why I was like, okay, this move here has to be one of two things. If it broke this here, I knew that this wasn't going to be any diagonal like this, and we're going to chase this high, which happened. I said above this red D1 check. Expect this D1 high to get chased, and so exactly what happened. From this point, I expected this to hold it on a retrace, and so far it has. So Bitcoin was better in terms of structure and stuff like that, in terms of what I want to see. And we know that right now we have a whole bunch of stops right here, right? So if Bitcoin could just creep up enough, well, 45 minutes here on this. We have quite the ways to go, unfortunately, but it's right here. Get above this level, I feel real confident about entering in a long position on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's setup is not there in terms of a long, so that's why you can't really enter it. Or in this very moment, you have to look for a different reason. By the way, let me open up that chat box. So in order for me to take a long right now, again, Ethereum has retraced pretty significantly, which is not what I like. 618, which is, we can allow this retrace. Below this blue box is where I'm bearish 100% on Ethereum. What I'd like to see for me to enter on a long L. I want to enter on a long because, like I said, my setup is on a downside. Well, to the upside. We have bottomed out indicators. This can happen, which you have to be mindful of, which is you have to make sure to understand other concepts on the lower time frame. And let this guide you. If this is truly going to be a true setup, this will stay true the entire time. And same thing with this setup. If this is truly going to be a good short setup, this will stay true the entire time. And so far it has. And so far this has. So I would like this to flip bullishly for me to look for a longy scenario. Until then, I'm thinking this might have a chance to roll down until, further notice. Below this low, I'm almost certain we're going to break this low, I think. I'm pretty sure. Will I short that? Probably not, because to me that's chasing again. And again, I can't really short it with these being so bottomed out. So below this low, I'm pretty positive that this will seek the D1 low. Well, this will be the low, D1 low soon. Right now it's D1 high, but as soon as it's 45 minutes up, this will be the D1 low, I think. Or it might be down here. Be very close though. And all this is right here is something I've been looking at. I just developed it the other day or last night. It's like an OBV to help just basically confirm this and all that. But the big kahuna is this guy, the 220 right here. Right? You have to listen to it. Right now it's under it, so we can't really long it with any confidence. You'd be guessing and knife picking at this point, especially since these two indicators are both bearish right here. Bearish. This is just SSRSI with a cloud to show the little RSI and midband. That's all. It's nothing special. It's just a better visual in my opinion. So in order for me to take a long, again, I like to break over. Right now it looks like it has the potential to seek lower. If this breaks this low, I may think about shorting it and attacking this low. Maybe set my stop somewhere in here, but I'll have to really, really see something I like in terms of a small structure in here to find a stop placement on. For now, my hopes is this will break this downtrend line I drew, break over the 220, and at that point I looked for a retest to buy in at, and at that point these should also agree for a buy-in. All this does is agree, show you where you could possibly buy into or sell into. It will not stay with this entire time. Notice how it went bearish here, but this wasn't bearish, but it went bearish here. So that will tell you to probably take profit or get out of the position depending on what kind of risk limit you're on. And you wouldn't look for shorts until you have a very strong feeling of a short position happening on the higher time frame, like this divergence that you saw. And then you would double down once this confirms it, and or if you're just a safer trader, which I've been tending to be as of late because of how volatile things have been. I wait for this to confirm. I see the divergence to happen, and I wait for this to confirm, and I will sell into it or buy into it. Unfortunately, I didn't get on this sell. I was in a long from here, and I exited here, and then I got on another long here, and I exited about right here. Now, some guy named AK, it's like, this is good. He mentioned this setup on ETH, which is exactly the setup that played out pretty phenomenally. This short setup. He's like, look at this short setup. I'm like, yes, it's very good. Why isn't this? I don't know. I cannot click down here. It's so weird. Do you see that? For some reason, this is unclickable. What? You cannot draw on this. This one down here. So strange. Well, you see this divergence, right? From this high, from these highs, it topped out. And actually kind of invalidated, but as it topped out in tandem, which didn't happen in this entire area here. And these highs here were higher than this high, so this makes it a divergence. That's so stupid. Well, you get that, right? So he mentioned that. It was a good setup. Again, this doesn't look too bullish right here. Break this low. I'm pretty certain we seek this low. Not lower, and this will end up being this pattern here. You guys can't see it. A, B, C. Which at this point looks very promising. Just because how harshly we rejected the order block up top here. How this is looking right here underneath this. I was hoping to hold this as a area of support, this area of resistance. But we're underneath it again, so it's not good. It doesn't look good if you're trying to long here. If you're longing this, you're just really risking it, and you're really hoping and praying that this retrace is the bottom. And again, that's knife picking and Knife picking is only good if you're like a scalper and you'd have a really quick in and out system. Other than that, it's not good. Because the likelihood of you knowing if that low is the low or not is very slim. You can only assume. You can never know for certain until later. And unfortunately, we can't see later, which is predicting the future. So how can we ever, do that with success? We can't. Not over and over again. All right, the other two coins I wanted to cover were XRP, which has been moving. I pointed out XRP making it the bottom on Twitter, and I posted it on Twitter, and I think from that point it's been the bottom. For now, again, both. I'm not really looking for a trade on Bitcoin. Bitcoin I'm just using for a gauge of sentiment in terms of where I think price should go. And I'm just trying to trade Ethereum and other alts because Bitcoin won't move as much as alts will, especially bullishly if things end up being bullishly. You feel me? There's going to be more volatility in alts just because they're smaller. That's how it works. This looks like a triangle forming, which is very strange. Anyways, let's go. I need to look at the other coins I pointed out. Well, I wanted to point out. Ow. I'm going to also do this. Says that's be a damn link moved well. How's that low? And by the way, so far as soon as 3 o'clock opened up, which is the NYC close hour period, which is from 3 to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we dumped hard, which is right here. Right here at 1500. So the same concept you can apply if you don't understand the NYC be open concept. The same concept to be applied to this, that if we seek and chase this high before, we seek and chase the low of the closing hour. So right now, we're not there yet. We have 30 more minutes until the closing hour. But let's just say, hypothetically, that this is the low that's made by the time 5 o'clock comes around. Right? Then that means whatever side gets broken first will most likely continue on with that trend. Up until like midnight. Midnight sometimes plays effects in terms of overall trend, but usually it's in New York. Okay. Don't think this is my link chart. I think I have the link chart on this one right here, right? Yeah. Okay. This played fairly well. Actually, it's played perfectly. Interesting. What is this? Red levels? I guess we need new levels today. That was fucking crazy. Anyways. I wasn't trading link. I can't pay attention to that many coins at once. I can only pay attention to like 2, maybe 3 positions at one time. More. And then if I have too many positions, I lose track of them, and then I forget about them. Next thing you know, I just lose sight of them. Or ideas, rather. Especially trade setups. Okay. This is the hourly? No way. Man, this looks like a triangle on ETH. I really want to short it, but they're very very seldomly are triangles true. Man, this really looks like a triangle. I kind of want to short this. I'm gonna hold on to my guns. Okay, let's chain link. Unfortunately, with Link making this move from this high to this low, it means that this could be done. We're moving up now. So Link is definitely not a short. You can't short Link. If you do, you're crazy. I would like Link to break this high. If we could do that, I would believe this would be a leading diagonal to some degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as long as we hold, man, I really want to short this. This low. I'll explain to you why. It's because it's an order block. We want to make it red, not red, blue, or green, whatever color your order block colors are. You're gonna have schematics of something. That's the 1 hour. Wrong one. This guy. Some people take the wick, some people don't. Take the body. I take the wick. Depending on. Actually, I do take the wick almost all the time. So, if we were to hold this on retrace, this might be actually a decent short setup, but you have to be very mindful that Link is bullish on a higher degree, because I think that Link just finished this move. But I think it's a really good short setup. So if we start pressing above this high here, I would be out of my position for sure. If we start closing above these candles here, I'd be out of my position as well. We don't want to close above those candles, because that would mean that this is probably more bullish than we anticipated. We need to reject here. We can wick above here, tickle this line, reject it, whatever, but we have to close in or underneath this red zone to have confidence in the setup. If this happens, one or two things. This is clearly a three-wave move, which sometimes you don't get the final fifth wave. Or it could be a WXY, which also looks very promising. Which means this short will be very tasty. But you gotta be mindful that Link is bullish on a higher degree. I expect this to moon. It looks like it will. Anticipate this area holding for WXY. W, zigzag, X3, Y, flat. Rule of alteration that works perfectly. So I'm going to be looking for a short setup on Link as long as we do what I said. Reject here, close it underneath there, and look for these indicators to roll over bearishly. This one's already rolling bearishly. We're in no man's land. Whenever you're in no man's land, you expect it to keep going that way. That's why I'm assuming that we're going to pop up here, quick wick up here, reject it, and then roll down hard with this, since momentum is already going to the downside. This one, you can already see significant bearish divergence, 0, 1, 2, X pivots right here. So you anticipate that it already got attacked. So this X pivot already got attacked. So this one, that divergence was true as hell. Hit this X pivot. You would take that divergence call, take that trade. As soon as you get the first bearish candle, take the trade. You made a divergence true, close out partial, but that ended up coming back at you, which tells you that it's going to have one more high at least. At least. Gets over to 78.6. And then another divergence setup. Take that short. As long as you get one sell candle like this, right after the highest candle that creates divergence, enter on that candle, stop at the high, target the pivot, which would at that point be this low, which is right here. You would target right here specifically. And if this area breaks, you'd anticipate us to go much lower. So if we go like this, douche, like this. If we just break this low, anticipate this going lower. And then watch out here, this could bounce here, like I said, that would confirm. If we bounce here and take over this level again, I would assume that this is going to take on this high. Break this level, I assume that this YXY comes true. That's a buy. This is nothing, you know, anymore. This really looks like a triangle. But again, my indicators are so bottomed out. It's just like, do you really want to test that luck? I think XRP is the last one I want to talk to you about, and then get out of here. I think that's the chart I had. So again, this is when I talk to you guys about XRP. So if you guys took this trade, our target is still way up here. And we're well in profit, but this, I mean, it could have spooked us. Remember, I wanted an entry here, and it was perfect. Damn near perfect entry. I think I saw it here. Remember, I saw this as a flat forming or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Let's check some indicator work here, see what our indicators are doing for us. See how well they're working, see how well they're not working. It's always good to make sure your indicators are still working as planned. What the fuck is... Interesting. Look at this. It brings up the wrong setting. See that? That's it's supposed to bring up Chevy settings. It brings up this settings. What the fuck? That's so fucking weird. Strange. I don't know why kill zones doesn't work on this chart. It's strange as well. Very interesting. I can't. Okay, OG Chevy's not popping up as a setting. That's fucking annoying. I wanted to see how well momentum held here, which I think it would have held fucking phenomenally. I don't have that OBB indicator on here. By the way, if you're using my SSRSI, if you just put blanks here, it'll do the time frame you're in. Topped out, topped out. Notice how this was never topped out though. This is the first time it was topped out, which you still wouldn't have taken a trade. You would wait for the divergence, which would have been the better trade, right? That would have been the better trade so far. But in order for this divergence to be true, you have to break this low, which is not going to happen. In less time, it's not going to happen. So, again, I think this is what's going to happen in XRP now. I think this move looks done. I think this is 1, 2, or... I don't know. This looks fairly... This move looks done. For now. It could move up one higher, which then, at that point, I would definitely agree that I would have come down like this. My idea for now is that this possibly is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then all this is 3, 4, and 5. Then it's A, B, C. As long as we hold that low, I think we're golden for move up, which still is a pretty significant down move. Momentum is shifting bearishly. You would assume that this would go all the way to reset before any move to the upside. I would really like OG Chevy here on this chart to make me feel confident on trading this pair, but from this looks like it does have really high potential to moving down south. This looks like a three-way pattern. If it does move up, it's going to still be a sell because it's going to end up being a B wave. But for now, I'm not looking to do anything in XRP. Really, I'm just holding this position for. Do your life for me, watching and paying attention to key levels. If they break, I'll exit my position. Man, that triangle on ETH though. That's essentially it on in terms of day trades and the trades we took. If you guys want me to go over anything, like why I took a trade, why I thought about taking a trade. Again, the reason why I thought about taking this trade was specifically on a higher time frame. For some reason, I can't show you. Well, on the hourly, the 220 moving averages right here, weighted moving averages right here, bouncing off for the first time. It bounced off pretty aggressively. And I assumed we're at least going to get an ABC. But this looks like it might be more promising than that. And then not only that, on this time frame as well, we had a divergence forming, I think. Or was it on this time frame? It was right here. I knew that this was a divergence right here. 0, 1, 2. So X was right here. So I knew that as long as this pivot held, we are golden. And this is a 786, which is our fail-safe level. And all those worked, so. ICX has been interesting. I thought it would have broken down by now. This is what I'm anticipating ICX to do eventually at some point. This looks oddly like it could be a part of a weird impulse thing like this. Then do this. I wouldn't bet on it. Sometimes these could just be a zigzag and you miss it and it comes down like this. Which is what I'm assuming right now. Dodge might be fun. Ooh, Dodge is just straight mooning. Damn, just today. I was thinking about buying that. I have a I opened a Kraken account where Kraken can trade this pair. But I will be the bearer of bad news on Dodge that I think that it's going to be this. Unless some miraculous thing happens, like they get listed on like Coinbase, or for some reason have some miraculous like deal with DraftKings for like online bet paying gambling things, or because when I researched it, the most I got out of it was that Dodge mostly get used for paying off like people on online gambling and bets and stuff like that because it's cheaper, quicker, and faster than Bitcoin. That's it though. I don't really hear much of a use case, and it's relatively stable. Like if you look at the history, it stays pretty much down here the entire time, which is pretty stable for cryptocurrency for the most part. You know, like yeah, it's still a vast. You know, that's pretty vast, but for the most part, if you catch it, if it's a real quick exchange, like in and out, like you're just trying to buy some, just like trade to pay off someone's debt or whatever, it's relatively stable until this stuff happens. So this is a ABC. This is going to be an ABC. This has a chance of going really high. I really wish I would have just bought in. I was just like, but I didn't want to manage that many positions. ICX, this position, then XRP position, and an East position. While holding East spot, I was not ready for all that. This is going to be true, though. W, X, Y, A, B, C. 1, maybe 2. I'll anticipate a reaction here. Since these are equal highs, you anticipate them just get blown the fuck out. And I mean, this is a pretty that's a big blowout. 10% is pretty much blowout in my opinion. So you'd anticipate this going at least a 1 point. So I hit the minimum. You'd anticipate a look how well the 1-to-1 matches up. So this is where I would definitely look for a reversal. If this is gonna be true, I can't short dodge. I might buy into it. It might be a little risky at this point. But in terms of time, if this is going to be true, we know that time has to be in a certain area, and we're really close to maxed out, if not maxed out. Unless we're saying this is a what do you call those? Diametric, and you're taking the low of this coin here, which at that point you're stretching yourself and just hoping, but it looks really good. So looking for a high point on this coin here. In my opinion, as soon as it breaks this trend line, it will be done, because it's a this is a corrective pattern. So corrective patterns don't do that. They don't do that. So as soon as this trend line breaks, I anticipate this to be a pretty significant sell-off. Why aren't these working here? I don't understand. I can't click on these things either. That triangle on ETH work played out. It's very unfortunate. That was a place to get on this trade though, which I'm kicking myself in the ass for that one because I watched that happen. So again, if you don't have any questions or concerns, this is your time. I'm going to stream until the end of the 5-hour period. Just because at the end of the 5-hour period, this might be a buy setup. Like a little flat going on. Or it's my nuke all the way down here. We'll see. In my opinion, it's going to be a buy at some point, though. Okay? So I'm waiting for me to really confirm it. This has to flip. Sometimes just the price and that line is good enough. Notice how we went positive for a moment there, went negative there, and then went negative there. This was also negative. Negative, all reason to probably go short. But I was covering a few other coins I was interested in. I'm not really interested in this short either. Again, I think that would have been the best opportunity. And since no one's asked me questions, I'm going to go ahead and put some tunes on in the background for the last 10 minutes or so. Might get copyrighted, so I might have to be mindful of that. Oh, it's right here. This trend line has been menacing. Not to be broken momentarily, so we still, this is still a trend from this high to there. So draw. You probably get rid of this one now, though. That 220 usually works pretty well for those long-term trends, though. So. There we go. It's so weird how it does that sometimes. So look how well OG Chevy just freaking held you to glory on XRP. Why can't I adjust the settings on OG? There we go. Positive momentum. We gotta sell here. Which is, again, the reason why I think we're gonna order this. So I'm assuming the high was posted until possibly midnight. Because we keep trending down as these 2 hours passes by. Look how well this bearish OB worked. Again, if you have trouble with order blocks, go watch my video. I'm thinking about uploading it to YouTube, just because I keep saying that. And it's, I mean, I made it public, so why not, right? I just need help with like maybe making it a little bit prettier or something. I don't know. We'll see. So this looks bearish as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Unless we are to this wick again, I anticipate this to roll down. This was a weird, complex combo thing. W, X, Y thing, I think. A, B, C maybe? Invalid over that high for sure. But for now, this looks just not good right here. Underneath an order block would be very, very bad. The new D1 high will be the new D1 levels will be posted very soon. Currently the high and the open are at the same spot, which is why this was so difficult to get over. All this divergence. You can honestly probably just have it flat. You don't even really need the other guys need that visual. Again, I'm anticipating the D1 high, low to be, well, yesterday's D1 high to be attacked right now. Oh, these are O levels. In my opinion, it's very important to have all your levels every single day. I wouldn't trust long in anything here. I fully anticipate this area to break. Damn. And the salty thing is, I really thought that if this would have stayed on normal flat like this, I would have been so with it. But that happened. Then that happened. I was like, all right, maybe we're gonna actually be in a larger degree impulse or B flat, or wave B. So far, not looking like it. In my opinion, this little move here was a little diagonal. This could be 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly. Time's a little off, which I don't like about it. Watch for this. Since it's gonna, if it rallies up, if it rallies in a 3-way fashion and rejects its level here again, then for sure that would be a kiss in the fucking kiss of death right there. I would not short this level. This is the place to short, in my opinion. This is an okay place to short. The reason why I didn't really want to, these indicators are bottomed out, and I don't trade against that. I'm in a spots position on ETH from way down here, 13.4 something. I think it's right here. All right. And in 4 minutes, our new levels will be posted, which then would be probably like this. The high will be here. D1 low, I think. Maybe here? Or possibly down here, honestly. Yeah, right here. Ish. Which, in my opinion, that fits structure better. Oh yeah, that's a sweet spot for sure. Wave structure looks beautiful. A, B. Looks very promising. Watch for this little rally if it happens. Watch for a flat to form. Divergences to form in here. If this little microstructure works, and you have a bearish bias as well, draw a trend line from that low to the secondary pivot low. Wait for that trend line to break. When that trend line breaks, you can short it, set your stop at that high, and bet on that low being hit. Which again, this is not currently the D1 low, but in about 2 minutes it will be, in my opinion. On the 13-minute, the 220 is starting to hint at going bearish. It's already bearish on the chart on the RSI. Again here. And here as well. It's bearish here, here, and here. So for swing traders, for day-to-day swing traders, you wouldn't really look for a long scenario until this flips back over, or looking for a holding scenario, which also agrees with this same concept. So there's our time frame. How do you, sorry, my chat box popped away. How do you do time estimation? What's the rule for it? I have a good video. Unfortunately, it takes understanding Elliott wave structures a little bit more, because you have to understand which waves have to have, because each move on, or each wave on a chart has a sister wave, or at least one. Well, it's going to at least have two other waves that are going to be in the same structure as it. And both of those waves will have a relationship to that one wave you're studying, both in time and in price, which usually in time usually holds in time within 1/3. And so, using that knowledge, you can formulate more, or stronger forms of analysis. But it is definitely nothing I could teach you just right now, or in one sitting, or like that. I have a really great few videos inside inside Elevate Trading to Scored that helps go over this, and I have exactly the time tool and how to set it up in there as well. But yeah, the most common relationship is the 1-to-1. If you're studying the same degree pattern, it's usually going to be right here. Usually. There's a few patterns out there that won't do that. Like a neutral triangle, diametric. Oh, diametrics actually are perfect. They work so... Diametrics are probably the best for this. Some triangles. This triangle, to be honest with you. Wave forward kind of disagree sometimes. But yeah, it's again the most common relationship of two waves that are in the same structure are a 1-to-1 with is 1/3 within a 1-to-1. So if you think you have this is real quick. It's the most simplest way I could put this in anything, in any way possible. Let's just assume you have an impulse, a move that moved up, and you think it's going to cause a new trending piece of upside. Well, every single trending motive piece ever will always have a secondary piece with same degree. Always. Right? You can always assume that. You can always assume that they're going to mimic each other in time and price within 1/3, unless it's a wave 3, which happens every now and then. But you would know very quickly if that's a wave 3 because it will break the 1.618 level extension in Fibonacci, and at that point you look for an actual impulse. Right? And one of the other most common characteristics is that your move that retraces whatever impulse you think you have will always be at least a 1-to-1 time of that move within 1/3. So it could be 1/3 less than 1-to-1 and still hold that rule. But typically you look for your counter moves, what do you call them? Your corrective moves to be at least at a bare minimum a 1-to-1 or greater of that initial impulse you think you're studying. And from that point on, you could use your understanding that time and price to look for a possible conclusion to this piece here. Let's say you bought here because you saw this impulse and you saw this price meandering, right? Yeah, you saw it meandering, like bouncing back and forth, taking more time than it took to make this impulse, right? It's taking more time to break the low than it is to create that low to the new high, right? It's taking more time, taking more structure, and resets your indicators like I've shown you on here. Like this is a reset, right? So we should probably honestly start looking for longing opportunities, but I don't trust it at this point. We're too close to these lows after already testing this. I'm not really trusting it until I get some confirmation on some lower degrees. But say we got like this reset here, a reset here, all this meandering stuff. So you take that long position, right? You buy into here, right? And then price breaks out, boom, and starts impulsing. At that point, you're like, well, when do I take profit? How do I take profit? This is where you use your understanding your time and price. You know that at least at a bare minimum, it's going to take a 1-to-1 in time, and at least, and at most of the time, a maximum of this level here. So you draw your box, you draw a vertical box, and then you map out your price target via Fibonacci as well. You know that it's going to at least be a 1-to-1, with the most common being the 1-2-3-6 and the 1-3-8-2 hit. So you mark those levels as well. And those are the levels you start looking for. You probably take partial here, and right here probably fully exit, and or take 70% off and look for reversal. And if price were to get above this here, if price were to get above there, and then hold the 1.236 on a retrace, you most likely have an impulse to the upside. And it'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And waves 4 and 2 will hold that 1-to-1 time thing and price thing, but only with one of them. So only price will mimic it within 1/3, or only time will. So sometimes you'll get a really super quick 4, like that. I started noticing this, by the way. It's really super quick 4, but really kind of drawn out this. But their price expansions are the same. Like this would be like a 20% decline, and this would be like a 15% decline, which is they're within 1/3 of each other. But price wise, time wise, they're not. And on the opposite side, you'll get well, just the opposite way. This taking a short amount of time, and it's taking a long time. Whatever. But that's the most simplest way and quickest way I can put things, man. Without trying to really dive into Elliott Wave and stuff like that. Man, this order block held well. Could be a quick ABC on ETH. A, B, C. This to me looks like a very clear triangle. And to me it took too much time in regards to this little move here. This little flat. This is a really small flat here at form. Really, really small. It doesn't make sense for me to say that these are the same degree. I think that's too much of a difference. This low. Yeah, that's way. Yeah, that's kind of like too much of a difference. For now, though, waiting for these lower time frame indicators to agree that this is a buy. This is an area where I anticipate the buy scenario because my indicators are bottomed out. Structurally, Elliott Wave says we should go lower, but I let the indicators sway me. They usually sway me in the right direction. Like usually this won't flip bullishly along with this stuff until the Elliott Wave pattern completes. It usually works pretty well with each other. All right, so and yes, this is a new OBV indicator that I created just to help limit the false signals that were presented here. And I didn't want to keep using the higher degree time frame because then it creates an issue where if sometimes the close, like there's 5 closes in the 1 minute chart for one 5 minute close here, right? So that means that if you close, like say you close bullishly here, right? You're like, oh shoot, it might be a re-breakout scenario. It's gonna break out to new highs because it's bullish here, bullish here, it's bullish here, and then in that next candle, you get 4 hard sells on the minute chart. So now now you're underwater if you're trading at lower time frame. You know, now that's the issue, right? So I didn't like that, especially since I was operating a lot of my trading on a lower time frame in terms of my entries and exits. So I got rid of that. Went back to the 1 minute 25 here, and I needed a way to limit the false exits and stuff like that. And the way I found it was using that OBV. This modified OBV. It's only modified for one reason. Is that it has this weighted moving average, and instead of just taking the normal OBV, I slow it down a little bit so it's not as sporadic, and I make it easier to understand with momentum with the colors. So that's it. It's nothing fancy. Which is the reason why I'm probably going to make it free to the public. Because I didn't do anything. You know, I don't think I don't deserve to be paid for it in any sort of way or compensated for it. So, it's very easy. Made it in literally an hour and 2 hours. I'm fucking with it. Just get to look at like... And again, it usually confirms all this pretty well. The entry... Then it confirmed a trade. This confirms the trade, and you hold, and hold, and hold until you have this lined up and say, okay, you probably want to start looking for a buying opportunity, and then you start looking for these to agree, which this right here momentarily did, but at the structure, in my opinion, I saw this 3-way structure. Like, okay, I can't buy into it until I can disprove it that it's actually a 3-way structure, and it ended up being a triangle and breaking lower. So that was a good idea for me not to buy into it. Went bearish here on both of the indicators. Here, and then, yeah. Alright, so that's it. It should be able to be viewed on YouTube again. It should be able to. focus on real quick. All right. Yeah, it should be able to be viewable. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, this is your boy Social Mother Effing Heavy. And you can catch me again this coming Sunday. At about, usually do Sundays a little later, 7 p.m. maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Depending on my mood. Usually like 7 p.m. I'll plan on it. Oh, it is Super Bowl Sunday, so plan on it being really early then. Really early. Like maybe 11 to noon early, alright? Plan 11 or noon, Mountain Standard Time. Catch you then. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch you next time. It's been your boys, Social Mother Effing Heavy. Peace, love, and happiness. Stay safe, everyone.
Well, I wanted to do it with entire golden meal with all